Hello everybody and welcome to another channel vlog. I think this is a perfect time to do one because I have a nasty cold and this is like the best that I have sounded over the past couple days. It's getting a little bit better, so we'll get there eventually, but I also want to talk about some of the upcoming content on the channel, including some changes that I'm making to videos on the channel, because I think that it is really important to talk about this stuff in particular. First and foremost, I have a video for Anthem. Actually, I have a couple videos for Anthem coming up. I have a video for The Division 2, and I have a video for the game you see in the background, which is Civilization 6 Gathering Storm, the newest expansion for Civ. I have a lot of thoughts on that in particular, and I've played a couple games of it now, and now I kind of feel like I can discuss what I feel about it in a cohesive manner. So I've got a video for Civ, Division 2, and Anthem all coming up. On top of that, I am changing the way that I do basic content on the channel. At least we're experimenting with something new. We'll see how it goes, because you guys haven't known this, but I have been secretly experimenting with the Hades videos. I feel like I do these 15-minute videos, 15 to 20-minute videos on average, and that's typically a pretty good time period to put a video up with, because it's short enough that you can watch, but it's not long enough that it's going to interrupt your daily schedule. So it allows for people to stick into a some kind of habit where you come back to the channel often enough, where you're watching my videos, and every time you see them go up, you're like, oh, there's a new video. I'll just, knock that out real quick. Or maybe you get behind it after a couple days, but then it's not a big deal going and catching back up, because you got 3 videos that are about 15 minutes long to catch up with. Or at least that's what I've been going with thus far. So in concept, that works, but in actuality it does not, because it clashes with the content that we do on the channel. You see, I tend to do long playthroughs of big RPGs, Dragon Age, Witcher, Mass Effect, Vampire, and these games will drag on and on and on when you do 15-minute long episodes, because they're long, deep games that I tend to do everything in. Those series are beloved by the people who watch them, but the problem is, over a couple months of doing 15-minute long episodes, you get a huge drop-off on the viewer base until you get to a point where you just have the base viewer base, the people who are going to watch it no matter what. That is a problem. That is not something that I want to see on the channel, right? I want to see people watching the videos all the way through a series, not because of any monetary gain, but because I'm doing it, for your entertainment. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing that. And in reality, when you have a series that's going on for at least a year, because these huge RPGs, it doesn't really work out too well when it comes to viewer retention. So these are the changes that I'm going to try making. So the first change we're making is that videos are going to be increasing in length significantly. We're going from about 15 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour long, anywhere in there, depending on when a good stopping point is for an episode. Sometimes an episode may go longer than that, or it may go shorter than that. It just kind of depends, again, on where a good stopping point is. This has a couple of effects. Well, the first thing is it reduces the length of a series by a significant margin. We're talking going from a year-long RPG series into maybe a couple months. The second effect that this has is that I will be sitting down for a week or two on a game and just beating it and just making all of the episodes. And this is good for me because it means that I am more mentally involved in the game. I know what's happening at any given time because I'm actually sitting down and playing through it. As opposed to playing through a game over the course of a year, you tend to forget a lot of stuff that happened, or why they're happening, or why you're doing things, or even like keybind stuff, which seems really simple, but when you're playing 6 or 7 games at a time, and you are playing one for the course of a year, or a couple for the course of a year, you do end up forgetting keybinds pretty often. And it's rather annoying for me as a player, because that's not how I usually am. And that will improve when I'm sitting down and just playing through the course of a game over the course of a week or two. And you might say, then isn't that a huge increase in workload? And how are you going to keep up with that? Well, to simply break it down, it isn't, because most of the time spent on a given video, so if I'm making a video for the channel, the majority of the time spent is in rendering the video. Uploading the video doesn't take very long for me because I have crazy upload speeds. I can upload an hour-long video in about 25 minutes, which is really, really good compared to the rest of the United States. And when it comes to actually recording the video, that's the only increased time sink for me. So let me explain. So imagine I sit down and record a video for 40 minutes instead of 20 minutes. I'm increasing the amount of work that I have done by 20 minutes. I then go and edit it, which takes the exact same amount of time regardless, because just because the video is longer doesn't necessarily mean it takes me longer to edit, because I tend to do a lot of pre-production stuff that fixes anything that I will run into with that. So editing remains the same time. So I'm increasing my workload by about 20 minutes to increase the video time. Editing doesn't change. Rendering does change a significant amount. However, I render overnight when I'm asleep and doing nothing, so that adds no extra time to the workload at all. And then I wake up in the morning and I upload the video. So at this point, if I change from doing 15-minute long videos to 40-minute long videos or more, I'm only adding the amount of work extra to record a video, which, as it turns out, is not a lot. And I'm totally okay with doing that. That is not going to change the way that I do additional content. In fact, it's not really going to change my workload at all or my work experience at all, which is a good thing. So to summarize my thoughts here, you guys are going to start getting, and you already have started getting, longer episodes. We're talking at least 30 minutes up to an hour or more, depending on when a good stopping point is. This does not affect my workload that I have by any significant margin, so I'm going to be able to do that just fine. It's just a matter of getting the time to sit down and play through a game, which I am able to do currently at this point. So that is something that I can do without affecting the rest of my life in any significant margin, right? I'm not going to be working myself to death. On top of this, it allows you guys to retain your attention on the series for longer because the series will be significantly shorter. And a really good example of this is going to be Far Cry New Dawn, which is a game that I do want to do on the channel. I just haven't gotten around to picking it up yet. So I will be playing through New Dawn, and the result of that is I'm going to sit down for a couple days and just beat the game and have all these episodes, and I will upload them in a priority fashion. So you will get more New Dawn videos than you will the rest of the stuff on the channel at the moment. But over time that will change, because over time those other series, which I'm going to get done, Vampire and Tomb Raider, you'll see longer videos going up with. Right, those are no exception to this. Those are going to be happening as well, and those videos or those series will end quickly. And then the situation we will find ourselves in is we will be doing new series for a shorter period of time and getting those suckers done in maybe a couple months, which is way better than it has been in the past. Now, for some games like Far Cry New Dawn, that won't be many episodes. That game is not a super long game, so we're going to knock that sucker out really quick in comparison to how we did Far Cry 5, which I think got up to 70-something episodes. That's not going to happen here. We're talking maybe 20. That's way lower than it was in the past, and that's how series are going to be on the channel from here on out if this experiment ends up working out. And again, as I said previously, I've been experimenting with this on the channel. You guys just haven't known it yet. With Hades, I've been doing long episodes with Hades, and that retention for that series is really, really high because people... Well, actually, I think there's a couple effects on that one. People want to watch that because it's a fun series to watch. Secondly, people keep coming back to it because new content is constantly being added. And thirdly, it is a long series, but I'm getting a lot done in those episodes. So it's not a lot of running back and forth in an RPG, for example. So the excitement level for each episode is much higher than it would be on, say, a Mass Effect episode that I did for Andromeda. This change also has a positive effect on my workload in the way that I will then start being able to focus my time, because this is actually overall going to give me extra time. I'm going to be starting to focus that extra time onto videos that I want to do, but I don't currently have the time to do. So let's say, for example, I'm jumping in, I'm doing these playthroughs, and I'm finishing them in a week, and then I just have a chunk of episodes that I've got uploaded, and I'm uploading them, or I'm releasing them throughout the days during the couple weeks that I have finished the game on. Then I have several games I'm working on at a given time, which gives me a ton of episodes to release. I'm going to be weeks ahead on episodes, so I'm going to have a huge backlog to be able to put out at any given time, which means I can jump in and do an Anthem video, a really in-depth Anthem video, a really in-depth The Division 2 video, and a really in-depth video on Gathering Storm. This allows me to jump in, give my thoughts on these games in much more coherent fashions, because I can script the suckers out, which I haven't done in the past, and it's something that I have done recently with a couple videos, and people have noticed that my thoughts on them are more coherent and recognizable to, more of an article, because I'm actually sitting down and I am writing articles on this stuff, and I'm just taking those thoughts, scripting them out, and making them into videos. This is also because of the change where I am now working for Curse as a content writer and not as the Diablo Fans community manager, because most of you have seen that Diablo Fans is officially shutting down. There's a lot of stuff that happened with that. Essentially, the business side of Curse is changing the way they're doing sites, and Diablo views are way down at the moment, and that site has been tanking with how much coverage it's been getting over the past 2 years. So they decided to shut it down, and I have been working as a general content writer for Curse for a few months now, doing a lot of stuff on Gamepedia. So it's nice to be able to write articles for them, be able to take those thoughts, convert them into a video, and have way more coherent thoughts on these games that I'm covering, because I'm having more time to wrestle with the idea of what do I think about these games, what's going on in them, and how can I, give my thoughts on these games in a way that makes a lot of sense. And I've had a lot of life change happen over February, which I will talk about in the near future to you guys, but I've essentially been out of town a lot, so I haven't necessarily had the time to sit down with a group of friends and do the tabletop stuff. However, that is returning here shortly. We're going to be doing more tabletop playthroughs of board games and whatnot, and outside of actually doing video game tabletop stuff, I have started getting into mini painting, because I got minis over my Christmas break. I got a lot of them. I got 50 minis, and I had them all unpainted. So I was like, you know what, let's invest in some paint and let's learn how to do that. And if you go over to our Twitter, you can see a lot of my process with that. But I haven't really decided if I want to keep that as a hobby or try to do videos of that kind of stuff in the future. I'm still deciding one way or another. But if there's enough interest in it, maybe I'll consider doing a couple mini painting videos. Either way, it's a lot of fun. It's super relaxing. I would highly suggest it. And Geek and Sundry just started putting up the Painters Guild episodes to viewers, because before you had to have their alpha membership stuff in order to see it. It was annoying to be able to view that series, but that is the series that got me into mini painting to begin with. So, if you get a chance, I would highly suggest going and watching Painters Guild. But I would say the next couple months on the channel are going to be really interesting to see how things pan out, how the longer videos end up panning out, and how the content that I want to do on the channel ends up panning out, because I feel like my work environment will become way better than it is currently. I'll be able to get a lot more done, and I'll be able to work on my tabletop RPG and get that released to the general public much quicker than I have been able to at the moment, because of just time constraints. So, yeah, like I said, the next couple months are going to be really interesting to see how time management ends up working out and how stuff happens on the channel. But I need to rest my voice. I need to rest my nose because I'm all sniffly and that's not good. And hopefully I will have my Anthem, Division, and Civilization video up on the channel this weekend for you guys. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff coming out, a lot of really cool things to share, and it's just one of those, I gotta make sure that the general content on the channel is done in a better way, so I want to try to improve that. If you have any thoughts, make sure you leave them in the comments, or any questions on how I'm going to be doing this stuff, because this is a change that I'm making more for you guys than anything else, to try to make sure that, you know, you guys are able to enjoy the actual content I'm doing on the channel for a longer period of time, ironically, because it is going to be a shorter series. But it's just that the whole drop-off rate, viewer retention, has been pretty bad on some of these series, so trying to fix some of those with ideas that I've noticed worked in many of our other videos and, you know, on other channels. It's no doubt that I watch a lot of YouTube on my own, and I have gotten many ideas from other people as far as this is concerned as well. So we'll see how that ends up going. Also, let me know if you are excited for more tabletop stuff or the mini stuff, because I want to do more tabletop stuff, and if that is successful, then I'll probably do some mini painting stuff. I don't know, that seems really bad. I'm okay at mini painting. I'm not confident in my skills on that one, but you know, I think there's value in videos like that and seeing someone learn. Again, that's why the Painters Guild got me into painting, is because it is Will Friedle learning how to paint minis, and I think that is very valuable as a viewer. But with all of that being said, again, let me know in the comments what you guys think of these changes, or what else you would like to see on the channel. And with that, we shall see you guys next time.